It is Family Law Friday. What does that entail, and how can they help you? Well, we'll talk about that because I have the man with me, John Schmidt, who is an attorney at the offices of John Schmidt and Associates. John, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, John.
And also a client of his is with us. This is Charles Morris. Charles, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before we get into your case, and I want to do that, but before we get into how you guys are associated together, tell me a little bit about your practice, if you would, John.
Sure. We do primarily family law and criminal law. Some personal injury, but primarily family law and criminal law. So it entails, divorces, both contested, uncontested, meaning the parties are getting along and agreeing to everything.
Sure.
Adoptions, CPS cases, custody disputes. So you have kids in common but aren't married, or you're divorced and you need to deal with kids. So that's primarily what we do.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now, Charles, first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you guys met. What caused you guys to come together here?
Divorce. Matter of fact, I came to him about a year before I actually hired him 3 or 4 years ago, and went home because I was using a local attorney. But I said, I want to keep my business out of my hometown, so I hired John eventually, and he's been the best thing I ever had.
I love hearing that, and I can understand what you're saying. I'm gathering here is you don't want people in your business. It's like, hey, let's keep that separate from what I'm.
Keep it out of town, and John handled it from out of town, and it worked well because we're farmers and own a country club and a few other things. So you just want to keep it as low key as you could, and John had a 5-star rate, so I come over here and I hired him.
So did he earn that 5 stars?
Yeah, he's told me, he said, I'm never going to go to Henderson. He goes to Henderson a lot.
So you heard some things about Henderson maybe you didn't enjoy too much?
I learned some things about Henderson.
Okay, I got you.
But we've become friends too, so it works well.
And you drove 10 hours to get here for this?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He called me and said, can you do it? So I jumped in the truck and drove here from Florida just so I could be here.
Man, I'd say you're good friends.
Well,
that's a commitment. So obviously making a 10-hour drive to come on the show and speak very highly of Mr. Schmidt here, that's a commitment. So what was it that impressed you a lot? I mean, you said he kept your business private, but were there other things too, Charles?
Well, in the courtroom, I mean, it's like anything, his stature and the way he held himself, and some, and I'm not knocking attorneys, but some of them just doesn't have that gift, and he had that gift. I didn't want just I wanted an attorney, one that was stood up for me.
There we go.
And he's done it for me.
I find that easy to believe because I've had John on the show before, and he had presence, and you heard when he came in, I said, oh, this guy's going to be fine.
Yeah.
There is a lot to be said for that, because if it does get in a situation where it's getting a little bit combative there, you do need someone to stand up for you. So John, tell me a little bit about your background, and I guess I want to hear more about the way you handle a divorce case that may be contentious.
Okay, so my background is a little different. So I taught at the DePaul School for years and ran their boarding program for a little while, and decided teaching was the hardest job I'd ever had, and it wasn't for me. So I was sick every day by 4 o'clock, and it was just too much. So teachers really earn their pay, and so I said, I'm good at school, so I went back to school. In any event, I got out my MBA JD, and I had worked as a prosecutor for a while, and I ran companies and did turnaround work, and then my ex-wife at some point in time said, if you don't stop traveling, I'm going to divorce you. So I stopped. I was already a lawyer, and my first client was a divorce client, so I became a divorce lawyer. And she divorced me anyway.
Oh, my goodness. So, I'm glad you can laugh about it.
I really can. I can. She's a great lady, Dr. Kara Schmidt. She's fantastic, and she's amazing. Practices out in Simpsonville, and great lady. So we get along great. Had 3 kids, and it's wonderful. But what I learned from all that is, if I can be consultative and do it with my client, and we do it as a team and collaborate, and really take a collaborative approach, that works really well. Some clients don't like to put the effort into their case. They want to phone in work or email in work, but I prefer to sit down with the client and make sure that I understand stuff, because when I say Charles Blue, he may think Kentucky blue, and I may think sky blue.
And there's a lot of give and take. We've had a lot of give. I mean, I was like, John, no. And he's like, yeah, Charles, this is what we're going to do. I said, okay, that's what we're going to do. So,
and it worked out well for you.
And it's worked out, yeah.
Yeah, he's good, good advice. Something I noticed about your resume, John, and I want to point this out because I think it's important, and some people may not think about this when they think about choosing an attorney. But you were a special educations teacher.
I was.
Which, to me, says that you have empathy, compassion, that you really want to help others. That's a big part of your mission statement, isn't it?
It's 100% why I do it. Yeah, and I think I try teaching my kids this. If you can be outward focused and focus on others and use your talents to help other people, then I think you're doing what God's commanded us to do. I think you're using your talents on earth to do His will, and so I have never felt more satisfied than this. And Patty Hess is here with us, and she works with me, and she's fantastic, and I have great clients like Charles. It's just been very fulfilling and very satisfying to be able to help people. And when I can, that's, it's a great day at work.
Yeah, I love hearing that because I noticed that and I said, man, he taught special education. That's pretty rare for an attorney to have that mix of compassion and then also to be knowledgeable and obviously very well accomplished. So, Charles, if someone was coming to you and they're going through a divorce and maybe things are getting a little heated or maybe it's a little odd, like it sounds like yours was the town and things that were going on, what would you tell them about recommending Mr. Schmidt here?
I would definitely. I'd recommend him to my friends. I mean, he's just. He's kept me in check, and it's kind of hard to keep me in check. And so he's kept me in check and made me realize that I'm not always right, and I need to. So it worked out, and I recommend him to anybody. I really do. He's a good attorney. Really
and you're a good man, you're a good friend for coming in 10 hours.
Well, I told him, I said I wouldn't do this for anybody but you, but I drove all night to get here. So.
My goodness. Well, that speaks volumes right there, John. Congratulations. And I'm glad that you two have formed a friendship. And it seems, I would have guessed, it's pretty obvious to see, you're a happier man now than you were prior to seeing John.
Much happier. I was miserable. I was really miserable. I mean, I didn't know where to turn,
it's hard.
So.
And it had drug on for a while.
Yeah. I mean, it took, 4.5 years to get divorced or something like that. It was ugly. And John kind of simplified it and said, Charles, it's going to be okay. Because I didn't ever think it would be okay.
And I think, you marry someone because you love them, so it's hard. Regardless of the situation, it's a hard thing to go through. So the fact that you're feeling better mentally, it says a lot. John Schmidt, in our final 30 seconds here, if you would, folks who like your approach, have listened to a very, very authentic client, how can they get a hold of you? What do they need to do?
They call the office at 502-509-1490. Talk to Patty Hess. And
she's the real boss.
She's
the real boss, says Charles. Charles will know.
And do that, or they can write me a